Hello, welcome to BoxPred. This is my video giving my thoughts and prediction on the upcoming fight this weekend between Alfredo Angulo and James Kirkland. This is a WBC light middleweight title eliminator. The fight is in Mexico. Angulo is Mexican. Both of these guys have high KO percentages around the 80% mark. And both guys are pretty much balls to the wall fighters, aggressive in style, good in attack. Both lack in some ways in defense, which makes, as you can imagine, for a very exciting prospective fight here. One which I'm sure we're all looking forward to. I'd like you to take a look, before I begin, at a video I have put in my favourites on my homepage. It's at the top of my favourites, and it's actually the look ahead to this fight by HBO. And in that video, Max Kellerman expresses his concerns for James Kirkland in this fight, basically stating that he's surprised that Kirkland's team took this fight, and that all along Kirkland has been a good style matchup for Angulo, and in turn Angulo is a bad style matchup for James Kirkland. And he is concerned that James Kirkland is being fed to build to Angulo to build him back up. As we know, Angulo was very touted as a very big prospect, and he was knocking guys out left, right and centre, and he was unbeaten, and before he was outboxed by Kermit Cintron in 2009. And since then his career has sort of taken a bit of a nosedive, hasn't really been resurrected. And I think this is what Max Kellerman is saying, is that Angulo is a type of guy who can get he can be well liked and an exciting fighter who can get a large fan base and sell a lot of tickets. And as well, although I do think James Kirkland can sell because he is an exciting fighter, a lot of people may not like him. He may not have as strong a fan base as Angulo could get. And I just was thinking, Kellerman made a good point there. Style-wise, he said that whereas Angulo has always had to come forward and chase fighters, and he struggled against Cintron because he had to chase Cintron, and Cintron was just too slick and too good a boxer to be caught. You don't have to go chasing James Kirkland. This guy is come forward himself, so he won't have to look far to get in the mix with him. So just looking at Kirkland, where he as we know, he was also he's been touted as a big prospect before he was knocked out in the first round a couple of fights ago by a very light puncher, Ishida. And he didn't have trainer Ann Wolf in his corner for that fight, but she's back, so it'd be interesting to see her influence. Because since then I think he's had a couple of fights and he stopped them early, and he's looking, typical James Kirkland. I think he has the speed advantage in this fight, and I think he's got quicker hands than Angulo, and I think personally he is more ferocious in attack than Angulo. I think his punches possibly more intent than Angulo, or I did think. But then I was watching some more recent videos of Angulo's more recent fights, and he's showing again, that he does have that KO power. So both of these guys are. A lot of people have said it's about who lands first in this fight, and I think people are probably right, because Kirkland has, although I think Angulo has good punch resistance and a strong chin, once Kirkland tees off on you, it's going to be pretty difficult to find anyone who can withstand the barrage of punches. And in his last fight, Kirkland really did swarm the guy. And he may try and swarm Angulo in this and show no respect, and try and get Angulo straight out of there and surprise him. Who knows? But he has the ability, if anyone does, to try and stop and beat Angulo to the punch and stop him. Angulo, on the other hand, also has the ability to stop Kirkland, because as we know, Kirkland has been stopped by a much lighter puncher than Angulo. He's been stopped by probably a lesser boxer than Angulo. I think Angulo is the most skilled boxer in this fight. He has more controlled punches and more controlled angles, I feel, when he's punching. And let's face it, whoever has gone in, whatever opponent has gone in and tried to have a war with Alfredo Angulo, has always come out second best. And that begs the question, will Kirkland come out on top, be the first one to actually have a war and come out on top? There's been mention that maybe Kirkland will try and use more boxing skills, maybe try the jab, use a southpaw stance to his advantage. He's never done it up to this point. I don't think he's going to start doing that now. And even if he does start and try and his team tells him to, it'll only take Angulo to give him a couple of punches, and Kirkland will be straight in there having a war and a slug with this guy. You know, Kirkland's not the type of guy you hit and sort of backs off and assesses the situation. He's going to come back in and try and have a go back at you. And I think what other people have expressed is that Kirkland does leave his chin open out there, and Angulo is not going to have to look far to land on him. But also, I think it's quite easy to counterpunch Alfredo Angulo, and I think that if in the slug of it all, it really is a case of who lands, because Kirkland could throw a quick counter, not even meaning to. You can just catch Angulo, and it could be over. So it's really going to be basically an exciting war, I feel, and I think that it's not going to last too long. I'm actually going to go for Alfredo Angulo to win this by stoppage in the 4th round. I think he's going to be a little bit the more cautious fighter at the start. He's going to assess the situation a little bit better than Kirkland, and I think after a couple of scares, a couple of not scares, but a couple of trades both ways, I think that Angulo is going to actually accumulate a good few punches and actually stop Kirkland. It's basically a guess more than a prediction, because when you've got two guys who really lack in any really sound defense, and both have extremely good attack and powerful punches, that's what you get. You can't really assess it in a boxing look at the boxing methods and techniques. You have to think sometimes it's just down to who lands. So there, I've tried to break it down as best I can. I think that Angulo takes this in the 4th round, but it could really go either way. But I'm going to go for Angulo. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please do subscribe if you like my videos. Thank you for watching as always. Check out that video, what Max Kenneman's saying. This is BoxPred, and I'm out.